Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going tonight? So far, we got Pudgy, Large, and Jay Dandy in here. Pudgy brought up something, and with the emoji reminded me, we were chatting, what, last night, I think? Texting. But that in the winter, I was trying to rack my brain, but I forgot to go back and actually just check the actual facts, that it starts streaming at 8 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock. And I'd kind of forgot about that, but with the time change and everything, I think it's a good idea. So I don't know. I think I think we'll do it. I'm trying to decide whether I'll wait till after Christmas and the streams will miss because of the holidays and stuff, and maybe keep it 9 until then, because there's still a chance, we get decent weather, and after that it kind of gets pretty, usually almost always shitty. But so. Yeah, but I think maybe that'll be something, but I'll let everybody know if we go that route. I know that affects some of the people, out west with a different time, but, here in Ohio and even, what is Minneapolis an hour difference too? But still it's, I don't know, still easy to be home at that time when it's getting dark around 4:30, right? 5 o'clock. So, what's up, Raymond? Hey, what's up, Patty? How's it going? Muskrat, whiskey? Oh, I saw Muskrat was drinking, a masthead sleigh all day. I think it's like my favorite Christmas season beer. I wouldn't say it's a Christmas beer because it's an IPA, but I love that beer because it's just an IPA, but they put spruce tips in it, which goes so good with that flavor. I was actually drinking one of those last night at the shop before me and Large Marge went out for a ride, but it always reminds me too, and I think I've brought this up on Christmases before because I could see I have a couple cans on the shelf that I've drank before, but I was in New York in like 2013 and went to this tiny little brewery that had this awesome food, and it was early winter, and that's what they had, an IPA with spruce tips, and that was their Christmas beer. I don't think that place exists anymore because anytime I've been back to New York, I've never been able to find it, but this is also before I guess 2013, the kind of social media where you posted everywhere you went. So I have cool photos of the place, but none of the signage or the outside. So anyways, I'm actually just the tips. I just put up my Christmas lights upstairs. We're not going to get, I used my fancy camera to get focus for this night, and now I'm not getting focus. Whatever. It's always goddamn something. No, fucking focus. It's a $4,000 camera. You're going to focus on this glass. Anyways, it's not actually Course and Donk because I couldn't find it. I actually went out of my way on my way home from my shoot tonight because that's what I traditionally drink when I turn on all my lights upstairs, when I decorate my cameras, which is where we used to stream with all the lights in the background. But they didn't have it, so I got actually a Chimay Belgian ale. It's not a Christmas beer, but that's what Belgian Christmas beers taste like anyways. So just dark, and they usually make them a little stronger if it's going to be like a holiday one. But I finally did get those new emojis you guys are using. I don't know why Jay Dandy and Large Marge got them like a couple weeks before me, but they finally showed up. Do you guys have these yet? These colorful, like neon 80s emojis? Sorry, Chris. Sorry. As Aaron will well tell you, and Large Marge, like my patience when very expensive technology doesn't work is this deep. Course and Donk is. Let's see if I can. I actually texted my buddy Greg because I know he likes them too, but SM21. Yeah, that is a regular beer, but oh wow, there it is. If they make a Christmas version that I always try and find, but Belgian brewer. Been around for, they're not technically Trappist, I don't think, but they taste like Trappist beer, so. Pudgy said after the holidays makes sense for changing the stream to 8 o'clock. Tim went all dominatrix on the R5, and it's not even in 10. Getting the pine cones in his stocking. Getting pine cones in his stocking. Hey, Dylan, what's up, Doinker? Oh, Raymond, Mad Elf is a good one, too. Mad Elf is a beer that doesn't it have cherries in it? That's another one that I got a story about, because with my Wednesday night group ride, we used to meet at a place called 69 Taps, and they would have these things that were like kill the keg when a beer had been on too long. And there was one year we had like a nice night, and it was, I think, probably a few weeks after Christmas, so they were trying to clear out the Christmas ales, and they had pitchers of Mad Elf for almost nothing, but it's a fairly strong beer. And I remember before we went on the bike ride, everyone was like smashed from drinking all this Mad Elf, because it would, it would have been like a $6, $7 glass, and they were selling it like $5 pitchers, and we just kept drinking it and drinking it. So, Large, maybe you remember we rode that year. I don't even remember where we went, but I just remember we didn't even get out of the starting place without being pretty smashed. So, I was also and I'll go back to holding off on Christmas music, but when I listen to my Christmas music when I turn the lights, I set up the lights, and so it's Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, their Christmas album. I think it's, what is it called? Whatever. If you're in the mood for some cheesy country Christmas music, that's the album. And then Casey Musgraves, A Very Casey Christmas, which is my favorite Christmas record. It's only a few years old, but so I was just rocking out to those two. Now I'll wait a couple weeks before I put any Christmas music back on, but I've always said this too. I've never worked in, or I haven't worked in a retail or corporate environment that played Christmas music, so I'm not one of those people who hates it because it's been like burned into my brain so much. Like, I wait till like the last minute, then I enjoy some of it. And then some of those, like, obviously the alternative Christmas songs, like Ramones and stuff like that, but punk rock Christmas stuff. But oh, nice, Pudgy, you found it on vinyl. When I started listening to it, it was my it was an ex-girlfriend who had it, that Dolly Parton record on vinyl, and we would always listen to that when we put up the Christmas tree. And I've stuck with the dark Belgian beer, and the Dolly Parton is my tradition. Like, I don't care. Yeah, Fairy Tale of New York is probably my favorite, but I love waiting until Christmas Eve to listen to that one. It's hard to do, but just because it starts off with, it was Christmas Eve, babe, in the drunk tank. But I haven't heard the Louis Armstrong one. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I saw you post that on Instagram, Pudgy. Doe's Tacos, you said, you love McCartney, but simply having a wonderful Christmas time is the worst Christmas song. That's one that I could listen to a couple times. It's kind of like almost like faux reggae. But yeah, if I heard it too much, it would drive me crazy, but I could do it a couple times a year. Pudgy, or Patty, you said you continue to enjoy Christmas by ignoring it until the week before. And that's kind of how I am. But I just like the lights. Like, I even put those ones up on Tuesday, and like up in the studio, like where I work in the evening when I watch like 3 or 4 YouTube videos while I'm unwinding, like the Christmas lights just look cool. So, that kind of thing. 2,000 Miles, is that a Christmas song, Jay Dandy? I'm not familiar. Billy Idol has a Christmas album. Huh, let's look that up. Then I am going to get into this bike tonight, I swear. Last year we were talking about this, and there's a couple that I picked up from you guys when we were doing like a nerdy, oh, it's like a later one. He's like older on this cover. But, oh, I don't have the website up, sorry guys. Billy Idol, oh, he does like a bunch of covers, it looks like. Let me see if I could just do an image search to show this image, because that's not what an image search is, you stupid Bing. Look at that. Oh, that's a different one. Happy Holidays, and then there's this cover. Oh my God. That's amazing. Frosty the Snowman, Silver Bells, why? Nobody needs this record. I'm definitely going to listen to this record, but nobody needs it. Winter Wonderland, Run Rudolph Run, Jingle Bell Rock, Christmas Tree, Silent Night, Old Lang Syne on Christmas Day. Wow. Oh, the vinyl's out of stock at Target, so. Oh, you're right, Jay Dandy, Pretenders. Yeah, Father Christmas by the Kinks, that's the anti-Christmas song. It's great, love it. A Tom Waits, Mono Lake said a Tom Waits Christmas album would be good. Iggy Pop's White Christmas? Man, say it, don't spray it. Jeez, that's why I need a shave. Get everything caught in my beer right now. Keith Smith, what's up, Keith? Yeah, Lennon's is always one of my favorite, and I love the billboards, the Happy Christmas War is over billboards you put up all over Times Square and stuff. I love those photos. I had printed one out really big, like a replica, and I used to hang that. I don't know what happened. I lost it in one of the moves, but I hate covers, by the way. There's a couple people, there's a woman, is it Sarah McLachlan or someone, who has covered War is Over by John Lennon, and I'm just like, I listen to terrestrial radio when I'm driving still. So it came, like as I was seeking through the stations, I heard it and I flipped right by it, but I'm like, God, sometimes with certain covers, I'm like the gall of some people to think that you're going to bring something to that song. Like, I don't know, it knocks my whole opinion of whoever you are down sometimes when, covering certain Billy Idol covering Silver Bells. I mean, who cares? But like, you think you should do a John Lennon song? Like, I don't know. Come, give me a break. Anyways, tell you how I really feel. By the way, this is all that's left of a big bottle of Chimay Belgian ale. So, but not going off on mountain bikers tonight. So just on people doing bad Christmas covers, people who deserve it more than bro mountain bikers, right? Twisted Sister's Christmas album. I'm trying to think. I know a song off that one. I've never heard the whole album. I just hit so many wrong keys, but Google will help me out here. Where's the track listing for this? Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Come All You Faithful, White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, with Lita Ford, wow. Silver Bells, Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, Let It Snow, Deck the Halls, Christmas Song. Heavy Metal Christmas, The 12 Days of Christmas, nice. What's the cover look like? Oh, just kind of. Hey, what's up, Frank? Cheers. Patty, I think you nailed it right there, and that's how I feel. Patty said, you enjoy covers that are different from the original, like Devo doing Satisfaction, but covers that sound like the original with a different voice, yeah. If you're not bringing something to it, you know what I mean, or doing something completely unique with it, just don't do it. Like, yeah, no one needs just a cover of an updated version of War is Over. Like, we don't. The original is all we need, so. Like Chris, I would check out the Jane's Addiction version because I'm guessing it's different enough, but. Pudgy said, "Oh, come all you faithful." I could probably play it because I don't monetize the streams anymore, and I haven't thanked you guys for a while, but everyone should thank them. I don't put ads on the live streams, and it's one of the things since we have the channel members, I'm like, that's kind of a cool thing. Like, the streams are, in my mind, monetized by people just voluntarily donating, or when people super chat or something like that. And so I want people to be able to pop in and out with having to watch advertisements. So usually if I play a copyrighted song, there's no problems because normally I would just lose the ad revenue, but there is no ad revenue. But I still do worry once in a while that it would actually take the stream down. But I can't imagine Twisted Sister Christmas song would take the stream down, would it? Maybe we'll wait till later, and then it wouldn't matter. So if the back half of the stream, I could trim it out. YouTube gives me the option if something is copyrighted in a live stream to just have the stream stay up with that like cut out of it. So Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Ray Charles. Huh. I know I've heard a few Ray Charles Christmas songs. I can't remember that one. One of the problems is like the Christmas stations, like they start like Christmas stations, the oldie stations and soft rock stations start playing Christmas songs like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. It's like you think they would go a little deeper into the catalog sometimes, you know? Oh yeah, Last Christmas by Wham. Exactly. That's a great one. That's another one that someone covered that they bring nothing to it. Last Christmas, is it Taylor Swift? I don't know. Someone does Last Christmas by Wham, and it's a woman, and it's totally unnecessary. It's just the same thing, and Wham's version is way better. So, Super Chat, get with the channel. The Eagles Home for Christmas, I do like that, those tacos, which is funny because I hate the Eagles in general. Like, but one of my favorite traditional ones is, speaking of Home for Christmas, is the 1940s. Is that Burl Ives? The I'll Be Home for Christmas If Only in My Dreams, because I think that's just such a depressing song. It's this whole song about how beautiful Christmas is, and then the end is, but if only in my dreams. And the song was a hit because it was all the soldiers in the foxholes during World War II. You know, I'll be home for Christmas if only in my dreams. I just always, that's like one that like makes you want to cry every time. But Stevie and Eddie doing Black Hole Sun. I am not familiar. Back off the Taylor Swift date. As I said, I don't have any problem with Taylor Swift. I just have problems with people thinking they're like indie rockers and like punk rockers thinking like, oh, I listen to Taylor Swift because I don't care. Like that was my whole thing of that rant, if you guys follow my photography thing on Instagram. But Muskrat. Criddler 97. Salem King Night samples from the movie Home Alone. Oh. Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid? That's a great one. Oh yeah, Bing Crosby, not Burl Ives. Thanks, Patty Redbeard, for the correction. Yeah, I think like my favorite classics are like that. I like Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. I always like Holly Jolly Christmas. I like that. I love the line, have a cup of cheer. So, yeah. This happens once a year, since we started streaming, so I guess it's the third, would this be the third Christmas, Pudgy? Third Christmas season. We always end up having, it's a topic I think everyone likes almost. I mean, you know, so we always end up going it like down this, which is funny. What's up, Nathan Mace? The Season's Upon Us by Dropkick Murphys. Yeah, I know that one too. Yeah, those first couple of years, I remember. In 2020, I remember being like, I don't want to put up my lights or anything. And then like after, like just a week before Christmas, I was like, yeah, might as well, so. Foo Fighters did a good cover of Run, Rudolph, Run. Yeah. What's the, I like the Beach Boys ones. I like the Beach Boys in general. Merry Christmas Santa? Is that what it's called? Or Little Saint Nick? I think it's called Little Saint Nick. Should I sing for you guys? Ooh, little Saint Nick. I had a chorus teacher in high school. She would, when we'd go into falsetto, she would call it your Beach Boys voice. So, in the spirit tonight, yeah. I think when it comes to my all-time like favorites, just among any category, it doesn't have to be a classic or anything, would be the Ramones. Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight. As Pudgy had mentioned, Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. Pretty much that whole Casey Musgraves record, but if you've never heard Willie Nice Christmas, the duet with Willie Nelson by Casey Musgraves, it might even be #1 to me. And it's, like I said, it's only a few years old. I remember Eric playing it for me when I was in Boston visiting him just a few years ago. It was the first time I heard it, and now it's like my absolute favorite. Always play it at Christmas Eve when hanging out with my sister. So. What's up, Don? Don said Kanye West is right. About what? About it's the freaking weekend, baby? It's about the only thing he's ever been right about. Yeah, let's look at this bike. We could keep chatting about whatever, because I'm gonna miss some comments anyways once we work on the bike. But yeah. So I think I had mentioned this was the goal last week, but now I'm having I mentioned this too, but start with one thing, Tim. The Marin, I broke it's 9-speed Ultegra on this bike, and the front lever broke. So I at least want to take the front lever off, and I have some other 9-speed levers, but the ones that are 2x are on bikes, and I have some triples. And I'm like, do I want to put a triple on there? Because then, as Yonda and Otis were telling me last night, I'd have to be very careful about the shifting to make sure you don't shift. Yeah, I could use the 2 easier gears. But I think I have a bike over there I don't ride very much, so I might pull a lever off that bike and put it on this bike. Probably won't do all that tonight, but at least I want to pull the bar taper off here, get the lever off, pull the cables off. And then the other reason I need to get one of my 2 off-road bikes going is my Rally. When I rode with Large last night, I mentioned this on Tuesday, it wasn't holding much air in the front tire because I think I did something and I ruined the threads and the sealant is just leaking out. And last night I got home on probably 15 PSI after just a couple hours. And for a while I could pump it up, get a full ride in, no problem, but now it's just losing too much. So I just need to get something going, so I at least need to get started. And so we might as well look at it while I'm streaming. And I also anyways I've wanted to put new bar tape on the Marin anyways. Large got this for me for my birthday, some tape that'll match the saddle on this bike a little more. So some leather bar tape. So yeah, let's mess around with this while we chat. I've got the chat up on the big screen, so I should be able to still hang out while we do this. And I've got the camera with autofocus. I got the wireless mic on, so yeah. Rats could do a live stream karaoke Christmas song. So the first Muskrat, I can't remember if you were in the chat that night, but I know Pudgy was. But the 2020 Christmas one, we didn't get together with our families or anything. We actually did it over at Aaron's house. Just me, Large, and Aaron with a fire and the cats. And yeah, we did Christmas and New Year's. They were on Thursdays, I think, so we just streamed those and hung out. And we did a taste testing of different Kit Kats that Large had gotten from Japan somehow. Yeah, what weird times. For all the people who said, well, Kanye was Don saying Kanye was right, Kanye's wrong, and all the deniers turned out to be so wrong about all that stuff. But to go back and look at all that now just feels so weird. But let's see. I need to pull the tape off first. Did I turn that screen far enough that I could see it? Yeah. Turn the camera more, so not that it matters till we're actually doing stuff, but. Oh, Dylan, you said the wireless mic is working good? Awesome. I have it under the bandana. I was worried it was going to be muffled, but I figured you guys would tell me if it was, so. I remember testing the wireless mics upstairs because So I always name check Pudgy here because he was always an early listener, but early hanging out in these streams in 2020. But that's what I used to do, was just test stuff. Every stream I would try something different because that was the point of it. There weren't a lot of people in here. There wasn't much chat besides, you know, me and Pudgy and a couple other people. So I remember testing out the wireless mics back then, and then I would try a different mic, and then I would try a different camera angle, and it would just be always trying to do something. It was just me doing like technical experimenting. Wow. Oh, you were there too, Muskrat. Nice. I think by then we were picking up a little steam. Some people were hanging out those nights, especially like, yeah. I mean, that was like a virtual Christmas we all spent together because there was nothing else to do. Or was that Christmas Eve? I think it was probably Christmas Eve that we streamed, not actual Christmas. Wow, it's interesting. This bar end plug has it's an Allen key, but got a real loose. I'd probably need to get a flathead to get this out of here. BP said, "Oh no, your house must be old because I see terracotta hot blocks behind you." Yeah, this is a like a 1920s row house. Commercial. This is a commercial building. Yeah, 1924 it was built. So yeah, it's horrible. These things are on the back. So the back of the building is over here, and they are starting to fall apart. And I'm gonna have to do some work on them in the next few years for sure. The front of the building is brick, and it's in much better shape. But yeah, this stuff sucks. These old yeah, they don't call them terracotta. There's another clay tile or whatever. Yeah, they suck though, for sure. It was a bad building material. Patty said these reels really doink out the bike. Yeah, these are the spin wheels Pudgy gave me for my birthday. His vintage spins. I love them. They doink out this bike for sure. What comment did I know I missed? Oh, the bar tape will doink out the bike too, for sure. This bar tape, wait, I'll pull it out. When I pull it off, I'll hold it up to the camera and you could see how fast it faded. Because this bike was only, we built this on the live streams, early summer. And then I took it on the Gap Trail, and the bar tape, like we got rained on and it went like so gross so fast. But we put cheap stuff on there on purpose because me and Otis knew I might want to adjust stuff on this bike and pull stuff off and all that. So if I could get these bar ends off. They're moving, just very slowly. Oh, that's right, Pudgy. I made a video about that ride. So Christmas Eve, I rode out to Hop and Frog. They had a basket of beers they were selling, and they were aged. Like they had like been hanging on to different super high test Hop and Frog beers. And I think Large and Aaron stopped drinking them because a couple of them just were not very good. Yeah. Yeah, the cats were so little. That's where Don't Smash the Bean comes from. So we're worried about stepping on Aaron's little kitties. Come on. I need something with more leverage. What do I got around here? All kinds of tools. Let me turn this screen farther too. I can't see what people are saying. Oh, what's up, Juan? You said, sounds like Juan with a T, so Twan. Twan, enjoying the videos. You ride a rally, a grand vitesse. That sounds like a French word. How would you pronounce it? Vitesse, right? Maybe one of these little wrenches will do the trick to get that out of there. There it goes. Huh, these are kind of cool. I wonder if they came with the tape, because these little bar ends seem much nicer than the actual tape on there. What were you asking, Musgrave? You were wondering something. How much seat height from top tube is relatively sane for the east rim? Hey, Large, do you have an opinion on that? Oh, is this tape wrapped backwards? Is it wrapped from the top? Backwards to be, I always wrap from the bottom, but I always wrap from the end up, but I think it might be wrapped from up here. It is. Huh. East rim isn't that steep, Muskrat, so now I just need a razor. I'm not saving this tape. I don't know why I'm being so cautious with it. You know, sometimes you take off bar tape and you are saving it. This I'm not, so. Yeah, it's not like Hampton, where Hampton there's some steep stuff at Hampton where you really want to feel like you're back there. East Rim just doesn't really have that kind of steep stuff where you're uncomfortable. So even being on my gravel bike, like, I never felt like I, needed to be way farther back, or like I wish I had a dropper or something at East Rim. So I think Dylan or Large might have an opinion on that, but yeah, this. Oh, I see what you're saying, Pudgy, how it was stuck. Oh, look, that was kind of nice. So what Otis had done is he had laid a piece of this is like a foam bar tape in here to give like extra, where the hoods are, some extra cushion where my hand would be resting all the time. That's kind of smart. Yeah, by the way, this lever. So this lever, I was actually just doing a short ride down. I think I was going down to the post office about a month ago. So I was just downtown Cuyahoga Falls, just a couple miles from here. And the lever felt like kind of jammed. And then I forced it a little bit, and it just, whatever, it must have broke the mech. There's a chance it's fixable. I feel like it's probably, I think these levers are supposed to be kind of a pain in the ass to get inside of. And for what you could get them for anymore, it's probably not worth it, but we'll see. I don't know. Especially if I pull the one off my Barry Hoban, I might see if this one is fixable before I try to put one of my, like I said, I have two, I think, or 2 or 1 triple levers that would work, but this bike I want the right lever on, I think. The other thing that's annoying is this has those old, you can't see them here, but it's a single, these are old Mayfac cantilevers, and I know they're kind of a pain to get set up, so it sucks that I'm going to have to cut this cable and deal with that again as well, but that's how it goes. Old stuff breaks. Oh yeah, let me show this tape. I think that's kind of funny. Let's see. You can see the difference in how much that faded. Like, where's a good, yeah, here's a good piece. You can see that brown versus that ugly greenish. So this tape didn't look bad new, but yeah. Nathan said usually they aren't fixable unless they're campy. Yeah, it depends on what broke, But yeah, you could just, so it's just, you could see there's no ratcheting. It just freely spinning. I haven't messed with it. 9-speed I'm usually pretty good at. I haven't messed with one in a while. Set up a number myself, and then I usually have like Otis or someone like help me button it up. But oh, I need to be on that side, right? Oh wait, this is front derailleur, not rear derailleur. Always wrap towards the stem. Ah, with the ratcheting thing broke, I can't get the angle lined up to pull this cable out. I don't want to cut it in case I could reuse it, but we had talked about like an idea when I used to work on bikes on the stream more, when I first moved down here, about me like wearing a GoPro or something so everyone could see what I was doing, but I haven't figured out a good way to do that. Wireless isn't fast enough, and the cable, you know, having a cable on me would be a problem. Yeah, since this thing won't shift, I wonder if, oh wait, sorry, I didn't realize I forgot I moved the camera. I should turn my other monitor over here so I could see what I'm doing, see what I have on screen. But basically, since the ratcheting thing won't move, the little cable end is pointed down, and I need it to be in the up position, and I can't get it to do anything. And it won't move even with some. So this group set is actually also, Aaron bought our buddy Andy's Surly Pacer, and he had it on that, and that Pacer can't nearly be as old as this group set, so I don't know where this came from originally, but this is a group set that must have been on a number of bikes. And then Pudgy gave Aaron a different group set that she put on her Surly Pacer, and when he did that, I put this on this bike with this build. So, I might have to just sacrifice this cable. I don't know if I could get that thing to turn. Just that this bike doesn't have that many miles on it, so I was going to save it if I could, because then I could use it tonight if I was able to fix it completely. The tape matches my hat well. Yeah, lever truly is broke. There's just no, you know. The cable might be off track. Nah, you could see, because remember 9-speed is easy to see the inside there, what's going on, you know. Twan, you were asking what's my thoughts on tracklocross. I like watching videos of tracklocross, but there's not any of it around here. I would have no reason to have one. I I'm not against it or anything, but let me look at this one. Let's see. Huh. I've never been a big single speed. I mean, I have one single speed, but it's like a commuter bike. Where we live is so hilly that I'm just gonna cut that cable. But unfortunately, yeah. But where we live is so hilly that I don't really. Maybe I take off the lever first. And then maybe I could get more play out of there once I pull the whole lever off. I don't know. But I also have the brake to cut. Yeah. And these brakes are the old school kind where they actually go through the little nut, so you can't just... I mean, with it out of there, there's absolutely no pressure on it, so I don't know why, you know. Yeah, also, as a lot of you guys, as you guys know, as I go to grab some more tools, like, don't take my opinions on things I don't know that much about to have any bearing on what you think, because, yeah, like, I live in a super hilly city, so, but, like I say, our buddy Rusty loves that single speed stuff, but if it doesn't work, you can't break it, right? Let's see if I can, I really can't get that thing to move. Even with these slip joints, like putting some pretty good leverage on this little piece that, yeah, wow. That's where it broke, obviously. There's a little sleeve. So basically there's a little sleeve where the, you guys will love this visual, but the bar, or like the little cable end is in, and that sleeve must be what turns to like pull it, and it just jammed. And that doesn't want to go anywhere. Yeah, this lever's just totally fucked, and it's gonna make it so I can't reuse this cable either. It's so funny because I had just gone on a rant about how Shimano 9-speed was so great on this stream. And I was like, that stuff lasts forever. You pick it up for nothing. You could ride Shimano 9-speed on every bike. You'll have no problems. And then, like 2 days later, I broke this thing. So, where did I put my Allen? My hex. What do the British call it? I feel like I'd almost be better served tonight putting a tube into my Raleigh than messing with this, but I'm at least going to pull this lever off where we're hanging out. If I could find where I put my ratcheting. That is, I've always talked about that. There's that meme that is it was for working on cars, but it's like a pie chart of, it's like all like working on my car and then like looking for the tool I just had in my goddamn hand. It's always, I've got a tool tray here, got the basket here with tools in it, but I still can't put anything in the right spot and never find it. I'll use my multi-tool. What are you guys saying? Hey, what's up, Dimitri? This is a Velo Orange stem, Casey. This is the Happy stem. So this is a 90s mountain bike. So originally it would have one of those super long slam stems. And I actually have the Velo Orange stem that goes, these are Velo Orange bars too. Mike Howland sent them in to me because he wasn't using them. And they looked super cool. But it just was not comfortable at all, especially with the way my back is. And I was using this, I switched the idea to be like a kind of wide tire touring bike. So went with the Happy stem, and it's perfect. It bumps up these bars. Makes it kind of interesting too, because the basket's way down here, so I could overstuff the basket. So when it comes to looks, not quite as cool, but when it comes to functionality, it's awesome. So these probably aren't even long enough to, where's like my actual wrenches? I just had it. Kicked over this WD-40 as well. You'll love this. It's in my pocket. That'll be that guy. Oh, good call, Pudgy. You said hoodie pocket. It was in my pants pocket, so close. What's going on with this? Oh, what the hell? I don't think this wrench is supposed to come apart. What the hell? Having a lot of luck tonight, as usual. Oh yeah, I gotta undo the brake. think I need 2 wrenches for that. Yep. What size would that be? This is entertainment if I've ever done it. Tim can't find his beanie next. Just wait until he starts looking for his wireless mic. Hey, what's up, Joshua? Pudgy, remember when I said you? Yeah, I do remember it, Pudgy. Oh yeah, this will just spin freely without 2 wrenches. I think I'm going to put the same shifter. It would just, this is an Ultegra. I think I'm just going to put a 105 version I have on here. So. What do you think these Mayfax have on them? A 10 or an 8? Not a 10. Is it a 9? Are you serious? It's got to be metric. They're French brakes, right? Yep. Grabbed an 8 and a 10, and it's a 9. I should cut that before I loosen it, or the end is going to jump up into the tiny little hole. There we go. Good thing I'm not using power tools. Yeah, I mean, Tim the Toolman Taylor over here. I almost did that barking sound. If anyone is old enough, or young enough, old enough? Yeah, to remember that. That doesn't feel right either. I guess just because there's French brakes doesn't mean they used French parts. Yeah, there we go. I think I broke it loose. I can't wait to reset up cantilever brakes. They're so fun. Yeah, just these little hangers. What are you saying, Nathan? Your 105s rattle bad if you don't keep your fingers on them for some reason? Huh? What brand is my triple? Mine is a... Oh, I'll show it to you guys. I need to make sure I keep these little bits, the little important bits where I could see them. But yeah, this is a... Oh, it's a Soma. The ratcheting mech didn't break though, Pudgy. What's weird is the end pulled out. So see how this is in like a sleeve? Almost like it would be adjustable. That like pulled out of there, which is kind of strange. I actually have now, because those people, as you saw in the streams, that Bridgestone and the Specialized M2, those both have cantilever brakes on them. So maybe it'd be worth looking into at least switching the front one I have it apart, because there's not a lot of braking power with this bike. But there's a, what do I have? I have a set of ON YX. What are those guys? You, Pudgy, you might know. I'm guessing they're mountain. Needs to be loosened more. Yep. Am I just caught on bar tape, or does this need to be loosened more? No, it needs to be loosened. I guess also if I loosen it too much, that's one of the things I don't like doing, because these things become a pain in the ass to get back together, especially on vintage brakes. But this lever's probably never going back together, so. And then one of the things that Otis does and Yonda do a lot, which I like at Dirty River, is put the inline barrel adjusters. So you could actually adjust your shifting while you're riding your bike. If you guys, I'm sure a couple of you guys know about these, but if you don't, they're great. Especially on the old school ones, since these are those old 9-speed where they, you know, shoot out the front. You just put those barrel adjusters right there and you're able to mess around with them. Famous last words. Yeah, let's take a look. I could, now that we got this camera on a swivel, there won't be much light over there, but I could at least show you guys what I'm looking at for a change. I got a lot of cables on this thing too. Let's see. Can I change the ISO while this is recording? Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, this is locked. My zoom is locked. Hang on. Oh, is it Oryx? O-R-Y-X on the Bridgestone cantilevers, and then, oh, these are Shimano Dior LX on the Specialized M2. So ORYX. Yeah, are you guys familiar with that? They look cool. They're single piece, almost more like Paul's actually. Oh, Tektro, you're right. Pudgy, you already said it. It says Tektro on this side, so the model must be the ORYX. Very different shapes than the Shimano. Let's look at this lever real quick. Yeah, so 9-speed Ultegra. You can tell it's been around the block, but like I said, this was on Erin's Surly Pacer, which she bought from someone who'd already been riding it, and that Pacer's not as old as this lever, so. So that is an N, J Dandy? You guys might have already said, oh, Dylan said it. All those bikes are mine, yeah, they're mostly vintage road bikes. Some of them are very cheap, some of them are decent, so. Oh, that R probably was an N once upon an N once upon a time. Yeah, so what I was saying is the Tektros are like that, whereas the Shimanos are way more like steep in their actual brake, like the actual shape of the calipers. They're very different looking. And then these vintage Mayfacs are completely different than either of them. So yeah, let's look at the lever situation. Did I zoom this out? Why is this so tight? Yeah. So levers that aren't on bikes, I want to see. I have a box of stuff over here. Boxes. Let's see. That's pointed way too high. Nice and, wow. All right, so here's a left Ultegra, so this thing won't do me any good. Wow, I have two left Ultegra levers, different era 9-speed. I think they're both 9-speed. Yeah. See, where would they put the numbers on these ones? ST 6510, an XC 6510, and a 6501. So yeah, I think they're both 9-speed, but it's the other, so this is the lever that could possibly work. What is this one? This is 6510. So let's, is 6510 3-speed? That's what I need to look up. I mean, should be able to tell by the clicks as well, right? Oh, maybe, is this not? Maybe this is the lever I need. It's missing some stuff on the front, but I wonder if I could repurpose that off the other one. Monolake says I need some Paul Neo retros. That's me and Pudgy were having that. What was the joke we made, Pudgy, about that? I was like, all of the style of Paul Neo retros with all of the inconvenience of vintage. Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell, but the model number should be able to be searchable to let me know. So, ST 6510. Move this chat down here. Three by 9, yeah. It is 3 by 9. So I think I'm better off pulling a lever off that Barry Hoban than messing with that, right? Yeah, Charles, so I got this camera way too high, but I need to sit down for a second because I've been feeling good today, but my sciatic nerve is hurting me right now a little bit. But yeah, Charles, I have 3 by 9 105, on that vintage Trek over there that was next to the Bridgestone, and it has great trim adjustment. I love it. So it's like, I feel like it works awesome, but if it is like rubbing a little bit, like as a cable loosens or anything, like they have great, and you could even feel it in this one, not hooked up, that it does have that extra little clicking, like, but yeah. I was having this conversation with Yonda last night, and he said you could only use like a triple with friction, and I'm like, bullshit. That 9-speed Shimano front levers were awesome. Like, I've put like 4,000 miles on that Trek, and I used to have it on a Trek that's sitting over here, a 1500, but I moved it over to that 1982, and it works great, and it makes that bike so it could be an unloaded road bike, or I used to ride it as a touring bike, and then I get those extra gears. It's awesome. Oh, that's what I have. All the style poles with none of the braking power. I think the other one, though, was like all the style poles with all the inconvenience of vintage. There's a couple, yeah, jokes in there. But Josh asked if I'm a fan of Rick and Morty. I know who they are, but I'm unfamiliar, to be honest. As the French Jay Dandy said, le fuck. I think I should just pull that. The reason I don't want to pull the lever off the Barry Hoban, I'm going to, but it's that it's got like the bar tape wrapped, and it's cloth padded bar tape and shellacked and twined. So it's kind of a bummer to do it, but I think I'm at least going to do that tonight. Pull that lever off, put it on. I don't think I'm going to hook up the cables, but at least get there. Or maybe I just, well, this is here. First, pull this other bar tape off. Might as well do that real quick, right? Yeah. That makes sense. I need a camera operator. There we go. Now, where did I put that wrench? Just kidding. Oh, that was the barrel adjuster. I'm going to pick that up. I do like having that wireless mic, or this wireless mic, so I feel like I could, even when I'm messing up the camera angles, I could at least talk. But, oh yeah, this didn't fit in here. I had to use the multi-tool. Yeah, just put everything in the basket, then I won't lose it. This is how whatever. ADHD people talk to themselves. I should have put the chat back up big on the screen so I could read it from over here. Oh, yeah. Who just said that? With the Charles, you said you have a 2004 Bianchi with front triple using Ultegra. Just have to get the feel for that half shift on the trim. Yeah, once you get used to it, though, it's awesome. I love it. Yeah, you realize where you're just going to shift it the whole way and where you're going to, like, kind of be chill on it. Oh, that's right. This is wrapped from the top. Still need to pull the bar end off, but I don't need to. I got to cut the top first. We were talking about the gunner build last night at the shop, and how Otis had found like the right stuff to make that boost spacing work as a 2x. And then everyone kept talking about, why don't you just go 1x? And I'm like, why would I? Why would I give up a bunch of gears? 2x for life. And if you guys have seen, it's coming back around. Russ on Pathless Pedal talking about 2x all the time. Ronnie Romance talking about 2x. I was ahead of the curve for once by being behind. I'm ahead of the game by being behind the game for once. I think my face being in there is more important than the unwrapping bar tape, right? Twan, you were asking music for videos. I'm just a music nerd. I love music. Now that the channel is monetized, it's a little harder because it is nice to get a little bit of revenue for doing the videos. But I'd still take a good song over ad revenue, but without being egregious and obviously copyrighted music. But I listen to a lot of free songs before I spend a lot of time trying to find the music for certain videos. If it's going to just be a riding video with no dialogue, I'll spend a lot of time trying to find something. Sometimes it'll be a friend's band. There's been other people who have traded me music for certain things. Common Birds, they were fans of the channel. They sent me a couple songs to use. My buddy, I made some music videos for him for a trade for some music that I could use for videos. But in general, I find them on a website called FIMA, FMA, Free Music Archive, and I just search and I try and see if they're actually free to use. But yeah, I don't listen to music when I ride. Once in a while, I'll bring a Bluetooth speaker if we're having some kind of party ride. But yeah, I don't listen. When I'm riding, I'm out to have to hang out with people and have fun, and I don't find loud music conducive to it. And I never ride with headphones on. But I'm a photographer, if you don't know. I listen to music all day while I'm editing. So I listen to more music when I'm editing photos than I do when I'm riding my bike. I almost never listen to music when I'm riding my bike. Even solo. I went out on Tuesday for a 30-mile ride. I didn't listen to any music. That's my meditation. As someone who has a hard time unwinding and chilling, riding my bike, I don't want any distractions, especially when I'm out on a bike path. I don't think I would have done that when I was younger, but now I give myself that space just to think about shit. But I think I get more comments about the music on the channel than anything else. A lot of people say that, and I appreciate it because I spend a lot of time on it, so it's always nice to hear that people find it enjoyable. So, my leg is killing me. I don't know how, I'm gonna have to sit down here in a minute. There we go. I wonder what kind of bar ends this tape large got me for my birthday has, if it came with being leather, some cool stuff. Where'd I set that? There it is. Grand Cru, Velo Orange too. Oh, cool, it'll be Velo Orange bars wrapped. I need to sit down for a second. With Velo Orange tape. So, Tuan, this is one thing that I've said before. So, when I started making more cycling videos for the YouTube channel, because in 2020, my only goal was to put out a video every week, and I've had a YouTube channel for years, but I just wanted to start putting out one video a week, and the idea was to get better at video editing, because that's part of my career, and I wanted to get how I am in Photoshop, where I use keyboard shortcuts, and I have my mouse here, and I'm like I could just be so quick about it, and that's what my goal was. Then the pandemic hit, and I had nothing but time to make YouTube videos. Some were about photography, film photography, but when I was making the bike videos, I would barely ever talk in them. I grew up skating in the 90s, so I was picturing 90s skating videos. And I remember when a skater would have a song I would really like, and the skateboarding would be cut really well to that song. Those were my favorite videos. So that was the influence early on the cycling videos on this channel, was just riding my bike to music that I thought was cool. So that was the entire thing. And now, if you've noticed, I haven't put out much just music videos lately because anymore they don't do as well. I'm still gonna make them because I still want to do that, and they're fun. Once in a while we just go for a ride and I'm just gonna put music. But I've been doing more where I actually talk because, I don't know, this channel actually makes a little money, so it's nice to have people watch the videos. Oh, these are cool, check these out. They're wooden, and they got the Velo Orange leather in the end. Yeah, this is gonna look so much better on this bike. keep all the little bits together. Yeah, this will be a nice upgrade. Ah, Rusty's in here. How are you doing? You're at a bar, Rusty, and you have this on? You have your AirPods in? Butt plug bar ends. It's cold right now, Patty. Last night our ride, well, the good thing about last night's ride is the temperature didn't drop, so you left in the clothes you were wearing. It was 29 when I left and about 26 when I got home, so it dropped, but not much. Hey, what's up, Master of Disaster? You said you find cycling to be meditative as well. Just feel so much better after the ride. Your wife calls the bike prescriptions. Yeah, our one buddy who I haven't ridden with as much lately, but he has a couple little ones now. But he said how his wife is like, no, take the time and go on your bike ride. You're a nicer person when you get your bike rides in. And I feel like the same way. Like, you know, if there's a time where there's not a chance for me to get out on my bike, I just become very, you know, it starts to weigh on me. Like, that's what I'm saying with this problem with my leg. I'm so glad it doesn't affect my riding. And I feel I'm on the upswing, but like this, well, it's a problem with my back, but it manifests, the pain manifests in my leg. But yeah, if it totally kept me off the bike, I would be losing my mind. And the first time I had it, I was running a lot as well, which I really find running very, I know Rusty does too, but very meditative. But I prefer to, now I almost always prefer to be on my bike, but the first time I had the pain, I just couldn't run, and that got me out of the habit, and I just started riding even more and more, so. Yeah, I think I'll grab the Barry Hoban and we'll pull that lever off there, and at least it'll get me that far. What time is it? Oh, it's already 10:17? Jeez. But yeah, let's do that. We've talked about this when I was building this bike up. This is the lightest steel frame. It's so ridiculous. It's I can't remember how you say it. It's the Japanese steel. Tonga? Tonga? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, so it's a 96 Team Marin. I bought the frame only. Thompson seat post, Velo Orange Happy Stem, Velo Orange. What are the bars? The Grand Cruise, yeah. Mayfac racing brakes, spin wheels that Pudgy gave me that are tri-spoke. So that's kind of the build on here. Deity pedals, Blade Runners. It'll be cool to show you guys all the bikes again. I'll bring the camera with me as I grab it off the wall. How is that? That's not very good. Yeah, so as you were asking, this is someone brought it up. Yeah, 1920s, the basement of a 1920s. This was actually a real estate office back in the day. The other side, I have two basements, was a drugstore, so. Camera's moving on its own somehow. Let's see, where's the, get that ISO. So we'll be like, what, here? Yeah. No. This is a very cheap bike stand, by the way, when you watch me struggling with it. I should buy like a park tool at this point. Have Otis order me like a nicer. But yeah, so this is, Josh, nice. I'm reading your guys' comments, but. What's the one bike, if you had to choose, you would take to Mars? Isn't gravity stronger on Mars? No matter what, it's always going to be a gravel bike if you only could choose one bike. Terry Berenson was talking about that the other day, too. Yeah, all those bikes are mine. Said some of them are very cheap. Some of them are just bike boom, cheap bikes, but there's a couple nice ones over there. The Viscount's interesting. The Jeton is a Reynolds 531 frame, but yeah, this is a Falcon-made Barry Hoban. In 2020, I saw some guy list this on a Facebook group for $75. And I should show the lug work on this because it's beautiful. It's actually a Falcon. But I saw that it had like Campy stickers on it and stuff like that. This is also a Reynolds 531 frame. And I was like, $75? That just seems so cheap for a bike like this. And so the guy was in Dayton, Ohio, I think. But we weren't supposed to drive anywhere, if you remember, in 2020. Here in Ohio, we just weren't supposed to drive, non-essentially. And I said, I think it's essential for me to come and get that bike frame for $75. And he was like, well, I can meet you in Columbus. I'm heading up there to visit my son in a couple weeks. And I was like, well, I have friends in Columbus. If you could drop it off to them, I'll give you $90. So I paid $90 for the frame. And then I just built it up with stuff that I had and I acquired over time. We just did it on the stream. But yeah, it's got a nice set of Ultegra hubs and wheels that I traded a friend, Mavic wheels, Ultegra hubs. I traded a friend for his engagement photos, and that's also where I got the Brooks saddle that I ride on my rally that has thousands of miles on it. The bars were free. They were in the basement of Dirty River. Otis didn't want them. It's a 3T seat post. I can't remember what I pulled that off of. And then the 105 group set. Oh, I ran this 105 group set on my rally gravel bike when I first built it up. I bought it at a bike swap meet. Built that bike up with 9-speed 105, and when I upgraded to 11-speed, I just had this group set hanging around, so I put it on here. But this is a really cool bike. It rides awesome. It's got these WTB exposure wheels on it. I've got a Tektro long reach brake in the front, an Ultegra caliper in the back. Yeah, it's just it's a fun bike. A friend gave me these silver Velo Orange like metal cable housings, and I rode it a few times. I really like riding it, but again, this lever would be way better served on a bike I'm going to ride more. The other thing is I stole one of the cranks when I got hit by the car and put it onto the rally. Now I've got that crank back, but I've just never replaced it. I pulled the saddle off to put onto the Trek when I put that Trek saddle onto the Marin as well. So it's just one of those things where I've been pulling parts, so I might as well pull one more. And then hopefully this bike gets built back up at some point, maybe even sell it. It's too nice to have it sitting here. I really have these cool French bars on here, Addicts. Oh yeah, Gideon Philippe bars. But I should zoom, I wonder if I could zoom in on this lug work. I mean, it's beautiful lugs. It's a cool bike. Just not, you know, it's a Falcon, but no one cares about Falcons, and it's not branded as Falcon. It's branded as Barry Hoban, and no one remembers that Barry Hoban was one of the best British cyclists of his day. Until, what's his name? Bradley Wiggins. Most of the records for Britain on the World Tour stage were held by Barry Hoban. But nobody cares. Yeah, nice, the campy dropouts. Like, yeah. And that's why I love, this is another reason I always talk about loving 9-speed Shimano 105. It looks good on vintage bikes. Like, besides the levers, which don't look horrible, you would never, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't, it looks good, like the silver derailleurs and everything, and that still having the space and the chain rings and the spiders still looks cool in my very well-informed, humble opinion. What are you guys talking about? What did Charles say? Vintage bicycles, I say if you want to go, if you want fast, go Italian. If you want it pretty fast, go French. That's a funny quote. Yeah, the Gitan is a Tour de France. It's a nice bike. It's cool. Tom Simpson? Yeah, Charles, yeah. So Barry Hoban broke most of Tom Simpson's records. I think it is a 58. You're right, Josh. Or who said that? Charles. Yeah, it's a 50. I think it has to be a 58. I've never measured, but you could tell the head tube is not quite a 60 because I have a bunch of 60s, and you could tell they're a little bigger. There's a tons of 60. The Peugeot over there is a 60. Roger Riviere, there's a French rider. I have a Roger Riviere over there, but the bike is cheap. Man, I got to undo my nice hemp tape job, or my hemp twine job. Shellac job. I love this orange bar tape. It matches so well, too. I'm a French bike guy, so Italian bikes are awesome, but you can't get cheap vintage Italian bikes. Like, you know, like, everybody who ever bought a Colnago knows they bought a Colnago. They're not selling that shit cheap, you know? Whereas you could get away with finding, like, French and British bikes pretty cheap. I have a carbon lugged look over there that, what did I pay, 150 bucks for the frame? But ain't no one selling their C4, or what would that be? Their old, you know, Mexicos, or, you know. If they had campy gears and they had a Colnago frame, they know they had it. I always say that I used to do a lot of flea marketing, and not for bikes, but for cameras. Flea market stuff, and I'd find old Minoltas and great Japanese cameras that I actually photograph with, but you never found a Leica, you know what I mean? You never found a Hasselblad. I know people have, there's always like lucky people, but like when people bought stuff that was that expensive, they know they bought stuff that was expensive, and it's not ending up in a flea market, usually, you know, unless it's in really bad shape. This tape is coming off very strange. Oh, that sucks. The cushiony part of the tape is, damn it. Because I was thinking I'll put one of those triple levers on here. I'll keep it double, but I don't ride this enough that, you know, I'd be conscious of it when I was riding it, that it's like I don't have the right lever on it. Whereas the Marin, I ride all the time, and it makes more sense to have the more correct lever on there. Because this is like my third string road bike. You know, I've got my Trek, my 1982 Trek, which is like my baby, you know. I'm riding a road bike. And it's got 32s on it, so it's kind of comfortable. And then I have my fast road bike, which we were talking about on Tuesday, which is a 1986 Schwinn Peloton, 9-speed Dura-Ace. So this bike just kind of sits at a weird position. I had the parts to build a bike up. The frame was cheap, even though it's a nice, really nice frame. This tape is ruined. How is that? I can't even figure how they're, oh, I don't have it in the frame. Let me, yeah, the cushion backing is coming away from, this is cloth bar tape, but the cushion backing separated from it, unfortunately. Oh, that blows. My goal was to reuse it, to put it right back on. I don't think I'll be able to do it though. I'll have to go back to these comments in a second, guys. Sorry. Charles, you said low. You just said French bikes are pretty, especially Anquetil's, Le Petit, Le. I can't read from here. Perle? Track bike, beautiful bicycle. I've never seen an Anquetil in person. Oh, Dimitri, yeah, you scored a deal on a Hasselblad. That's right. No, I've never shot with Fuji's, Twan. So how did I say this without sounding like a? I've been in the Canon ecosystem since when I got into digital. So when it comes to film, I shoot with everything. I have Fujis, I have Minolta. I really like Minoltas. They're kind of my go-to. But have everything when it comes to a whole collection of old Polaroids. If you're on Instagram, when that thing pops up, go over to Fitzwater Photo or Fitzwater Photography instead of Fitzwater Cycles. I just posted a story showing all my vintage cameras. But digital, I've always been Canon, and since I bought my first Rebel XT in 2006 or 7, and had a lens, then upgraded the body, then got better lenses, then upgraded the body, then got better lenses, then got the flashes. I've just stuck with Canon. Rick, who used to watch the channel, who's taking a break because he can't ride right now, is a big Fuji guy, and in the Discord we were just chatting about Fujis. So I like them. But for my professional work, I've just been a Canon guy. And I do video work too. So I think the Canon R5, which I'm shooting at, this live stream is being shot with a Canon R5. I just think it's one of the best cameras ever made. But if I was going to give up on Canon, I actually wouldn't go Fuji, I'd go Sony. But at this point, I probably wouldn't. I have too many expensive lenses and all that stuff. Oh, everything's in the basket of the Marin, so. Oh, no, it's not. Where'd I put everything? Yeah, so I don't only shoot mostly with Canon. I shoot entirely professionally with Canon. So, and I usually don't do the streams with my R5. Just because I don't want to have it just running for hours on end, because it's a very expensive camera. But I use my old 5D Mark IV usually for the streams. It's stopped autofocusing, so it's just kind of I got to cut all these cables. But again, all cameras are so good now. I mean, geez. I mean, when I was starting with digital, cameras made a difference. Now they just make your life easier, to have a nice camera. But I mean, any camera, image quality-wise, They're all so good. Like, and mirrorless cameras, like Fuji was an innovator in that, like along with Sony, way ahead of Canon in that game, but Canon caught up really fast. But mirrorless cameras are just so amazing now. This camera I'm recording on will record 8K RAW internally. I mean, I'm not going to do it because the memory is just insane, but yeah, 4K, 120 frames a second. Yeah, just killer. Guess you guys are saying your 1980 Kodak Instacam is obsolete. I have some of those Kodaks. They're obsolete. They became obsolete in 1981 when Polaroid sued them and they lost. They lost a Polaroid over that Instafilm. But I have one still in the box, Charles. One of the reasons I started streaming upstairs is because I used to still talk about, like I'm doing right now, but used to talk a lot about bike stuff on the streams too, or bike stuff, camera stuff on the streams. So, and I used to like to pull out my vintage cameras. When I bought the R5 is when I started streaming. Me and Pudgy were chatting about it because he has the, Pudgy, you have the high megapixel one, the 5DR, right? I need. Sorry, bike nerds. This was a photography channel. Oh, it's in my hoodie pocket again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you scroll way back, the earliest videos on this channel are beer reviews. That's how I started to teach myself how to make videos when I had the Canon 7, the original 7D. It was the first camera I had that can do video. So me and my girlfriend at the time made beer review videos. She helped me out so I could teach myself how to make videos. And then I started to just make whatever I wanted, which would be a mix between bike and photography stuff. And then in 2020, when all the people started watching for the bike stuff, I decided it didn't make sense to put photography videos on this channel anymore. But it's still where I make my real money, like as a commercial photographer and videographer. This lever's in nice shape. Much better shape than the one that's coming off there, so. Oh, one of the M cameras, Pudgy? Because the only decent mirrorless ones are those M ones, and they have pretty much, for all intents and purposes, they have discontinued them, which is great because you almost might want to wait. All the rumor sites, Pudgy, are saying that this year they're going to put out an I think, what are they calling it, like an R8 or an R9, that is going to replace the M mirrorless cameras. So that might really collapse the value of those, which would make it really cheap to pick up, because those are great cameras. Large has an M50, I think, or an M200. And the M50 is a really nice full frame one that they're about to replace. So. But they weren't EF mount. They didn't make a, there was no mirrorless EF mount camera. I think we're just basically talking terminology, but there's no, there's no EF mirrorless camera. Wait. What am I doing here? Needs to end up like that. Yeah. Why am I dealing with this cable? Where does this come out of? There we go. Gotta loosen that more. There we go. On the Barry Hoban, I remember when I first posted a photo of it, someone said, "Why do you have your levers in that position?" Because they weren't super slammed, and I said, "Because that's where they're comfortable." And that's where I always put my levers, where they're comfortable. Trying to do this on here, I won't tighten them down all the way. That would be a stupid thing to do. But, all right, got 2 levers on here again, which is nice. I think I'll run the cables and dial that in later, but close to being back in business on this guy. Oh, that's why that feels too short, because the barrel adjuster's not in there. Let's get that. Where'd that go? I think my leg is gone. I got to sit down. We'll sit down and chat for a little while. Oh, I'm going to grab a beer warm up. I see your question, Charles, and I'll answer that in a second. Can you guys hear me over here? I think these wireless mics have a pretty good reach. This is how we filmed the Gravel Badass series when I'm riding ahead of Erin and whoever she's interviewing. They both have one of these wireless mics on them, and I have the receiver on the back of the bike. Let's get this camera situated. Some of these little bits out of my way. Not a ton of accomplishments on the bikes, but at least close. Closer. Something was achieved tonight, right? Oh, you did hear that all. Nice. No, the M6 Mark II is not EF, Pudgy, so be careful when you go into there. Those are different lenses. That M mount is a short-lived mount, but that's why I think all this stuff is going to be cheap, because they all said the lenses were really good. So the lenses are supposed to be really quality, but they don't work with EF. So there's an EF adapter. I think you can adapt EF lenses to the M system, but definitely look into that stuff before you invest, so you don't screw yourself. But yeah, your lenses won't, your 16 to 35 wouldn't work on there without an adapter if they make the right adapter. So let's bring this down here. Back to normal. You out, Dimitri? All right, see you later. Yeah, so Charles, I'm 44. I learned how to develop film in the darkroom in high school. We had a, I learned how to make prints and everything when I was in high school, a senior in high school in 1996. I graduated in 97, but took photography in 96. So, yeah, but I have a, there used to be a state-of-the-art darkroom in the other basement. I own 2 buildings and they're connected. But I never used it, but I have all the equipment. So I still develop my own black and white film, but then I scan it. I just don't have the time to set up the print stuff, but I own everything to make prints. I have an Enlarger, a Besseler 23C XL. But I develop usually Tri-X is my favorite film to shoot, but I've developed a bunch of films, black and white. I've even developed color and slide film, but it's just not worth it because you're not doing anything creative with color and slide film. You're just trying to nail it. But yeah, I do black and white. I develop it in HC 110 Kodak dilution B, and then I also use some Rodinal when I feel like it. So yeah, the last time I developed film here was about a month ago. I think the second live stream, maybe Pudgy you would know, second or third live stream, I live streamed while developing a roll of film. So in 2020, I was actually live streaming and developing film and counting, doing all the stuff. So yeah, I love developing black and white. I'm familiar with Moser, yeah, Reliable Waste. Those were really, really nice bikes. I don't know what they've done with the brand over time, but oh, Twan, you're 3 years closer to death than me, 47? Moser with the chrome set, those were nice bikes. Isn't Moser Italian bikes too, right? Oh, sorry, Charles, yeah. If you just scroll back through this channel, I took away the playlist off the homepage because I don't want it to, because it's all bikes now. But I haven't deleted any of the videos. So yeah, I have videos on how to load film onto reels. I get a ton of comments. I have a video on how to fix light seals and cameras, and I still answer comments on that like at least once a week. And it's funny because it's like almost all bike stuff. Then once in a while it's like, how do you know what size if you have a Pentax K1000, you know, so. That's another camera I like, basic little camera, Pentax K1000, but yeah, how to develop film, but yeah. Yeah, in early 2020, I was like doing little videos on film stocks, different film stocks and all that. And the goal behind that was just to get better at audio. I'm like, I have to talk to the camera if I want to get better at doing audio. This is and I've never had this beer, Home for the Holidays by Wolf's Ridge, which is in Columbus, spiced Christmas ale. I haven't been a fan of spiced Christmas ales the last few years, but if anyone was going to do it right, it'd be Wolf's Ridge is what I was thinking, so. Oh yeah, I'm 100% a nerd about camera and films. The bike stuff I learned more from doing this. So like Pudgy and a couple other people who would be in here like chatting when I started doing these streams, like I'm like kind of an obsessive personality. So it's like whatever I get into, I go full on into. But like a lot of these streams, like people would be like, have you ever seen this bike? Like someone bringing up Moser right now. So we just Google Moser and then I would like read and we'd look at pictures. And so over the last few years is when I've really learned a ton about bikes. I had already started to get into vintage bikes on my own, but modern stuff I've learned mostly from the live streams. I didn't care about modern bikes I still only have one, and it's a 2014. You know, I only have one bike with disc brakes. I have nothing with hydraulic. I have nothing beyond 11 speed, you know, so. Nice save with the shifter orientation. Thanks. Yeah, when did Moser ride? That's one that I actually know less. I actually know less about him than some of the other famous cyclists who started brands, like, you know, Ernesto or. Oh, there's. I was looking for that barrel adjuster to put it with the bike, and it's under the keyboard. I'm going to do that now so I don't lose it. Yeah. Sam Diaz, what's up? No, you didn't miss the maps. We haven't mapped at all tonight. I think we started with Christmas music and then started working on the bikes, and then we've been talking about cameras, so, which I haven't done for a while. Nerds make the world go around. Yeah. It's funny. When I was working at Soleil's, the sweet corn farm that I worked at forever, which is where I'd work 7 days a week all summer and fall, and that's where I saved the money to be able to start the photography business. There was a younger guy there, and he was getting into some stuff. And my advice to him was like, it's okay to be a nerd, long as you're a nerd about something cool. And that I love that. Like, that's just what came out of my mouth. But I think I stand by that in life. Like, yeah, be a nerd about something cool. Bikes, cameras, those are mine. But whatever it could be, you know. Yeah, Eddie Merckx. Yeah. Bernardino. The one bike over there is a Bernardino. That look is a Bernardino model. It's so funny. I was just watching an interview with someone where he called him Bernard Hinault, which is what it looks like, but I was surprised by someone knowledgeable not giving it the French pronunciation. Anyways, doesn't matter. I mispronounce stuff, as you guys know, all the time, but I still was taken aback, so. Hey, what's up, Jasmine? Do you got your dream build photo in the Discord? Drop us a photo if you can. I'll pull it up on camera. I'll pull it up on screen. Oh yeah, Moser. I do want to look up Moser. What's Moser's first name? Huh. It's the Wikipedia page. I already donated to you, Wikipedia. Oh, Francesco. Yeah, Francesco Moser. Trento, Italia. Yeah. Fillet brazed using silver solder rather than using lugs with brass. Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. I've looked at that before. Look at that time trial bike. That is freaking wild. I'm not sure that's the right narrative there, Pudgy. Oh, Jasmine, your bike is a Konarov DL, cow chipper bars, PNW dropper, Ultra Dynamico. Nice, yeah. When you get a photo, drop it for us so we could all check it out. That sounds like a rad bike. Oh, Charles said, yeah, the TVT is awesome. I have a camping group set on that, 10-speed Centaur, and then Mavic Tour de France Kaiserum wheels, but I've never finished it because my back went bad and I don't ride road bikes, but yeah. Muskrat, you have a black Pentax Spotmatic from the early 60s. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I've seen those for sure, yeah. Kona Rove, is that what Stoked on Spokes rides on his? He just put out a. I just watched his Thanksgiving video today. Is he riding a Kona Rove in that video, that blue one? Yeah, they're cool bikes. Oh yeah, Pudgy, the wheels on the Moser. Yeah, that's back when they would do the smaller front wheel. They would do that. What were those, like 26Cs? They were different wheel size for sure. I don't know if that went out of style because they just built the frames in a different way, or if they became UCIO illegal to use a smaller front wheel. I can't remember. Because this has 3 triangles, so technically it looks like a legal bike, but 2 triangles, sorry. But Joshua said, about to go to work doing your pre-bike check. Trail bike 29er. What is your what is your pre-ride routine? Mine is trying to get myself out the door in the winter. Like, seriously, it's like squeezing the tires, like, okay, do they have enough air? Put my computer on, put my headlights on. Where's my windbreaker? Like, yeah, just winter is just struggling to get out the door, but yeah. Hey, what's up? Hevlocks? Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing they're probably banned by the UCI to have the smaller front wheel. Where's like a more normal looking Moser? I want to see what year he was okay, like let's look at his personal profile. Oh, they're saying Mosier. The Italian would be more like Mosier. Finished on the podium of the Giro 6 times. Oh, and he won it in '84. Oh, he rode later than I thought. Oh, he's a world champion as well. I knew he was a good rider. Yeah, I think that's the problem. He just had to ride a lot against Eddie Merckx, so. Dude, I've already donated. I really have. I really donate to Wikipedia. I use it so much that I donate when they hit me up every year. So Mosier Seekley is the name of the bicycle company in Trento. They still only make 3,000 frames a year, so they must all still be nice bikes, yeah. Definitely seen all the vintage ones. Didn't know that they were still even in business, so. I'm sitting on my windbreaker, yeah. Yeah, Sam said always hard to get out in the winter, but worth it. Like, same thing last night. Last night, like, it was one of those nights, I had taken a nap, and I leave here at about 5:30 for my, like, weekly ride, where I meet up with people. And, like, so I woke up, like, kind of chilly and all that, and it was only 29 degrees out, like I'm saying. But once I got out the door, and by the time you're getting ready to and you're putting your stuff on, you're warm, and it's radiant heat, and the furnace is down here, so it's fairly warm down here in the basement. Like, it feels nice. And by the time I walked out the door and rode and got moving, I was so glad I did. But it's also hard because the darkness, you're leaving with your headlights on, but yeah, didn't pass anyone on the trails, had them all to ourselves. We went and had a good dinner and good beer, and yeah, I'm always glad I get out the door, but. I use, Jasmine, I can't remember where you are, so how cold you ride. I use just the good or clear ones, but some people want more face coverage, and I know like Large and like Otis, they'll use actual ski goggles sometimes, but I just go with just the regular like clear glasses. I even use cheap safety glasses when I can't find my gooders, but yeah. Wiki only recommends your donation if you're logged in. If you use the mask, snorkel is mandatory. Oh, Muskrat, you said your dad has a Minolta SRT 101 that he lost. Been thinking of getting one. Do you think they're worthwhile? For simple manual cameras, yes. The only thing, Muskrat, is you have to, if you're going to use the light meter in the camera, those were mercury batteries and they don't sell anymore, and the batteries that seem like they're going to fit in there will not make the light meter accurate. So you have to do some research. Hit me up if you decide to get a SRT 101. I have a link to the batteries that will work in those cameras and not mess up the light meter. They're called Wayne cells, W-E-I-N, Wayne cell batteries. Anyways, I have like 5, not all 101s, but I have a 101 that works. But SRT series, I have like 5 or 6 of them here. So might even have one I could sell you. Let me take a look when I go upstairs later, and we could DM about it. But all right, Twan, I'm glad you jumped in. It's fun chatting. Sorry I missed some comments since I was working on the bike tonight. Yeah, I think let me see if my glasses are right here, since I can talk and walk at the same time. It's not like dead air, but. Huh, where did I take them off and set them down when I walked in here last night? Because it was late. It was like, oh, not late, it was like 10 o'clock. But, oh, yeah. Yeah, these are my Gooders. So Gooder makes nice polarized sunglasses that are only like 20 bucks. And they seem to aim them at the cycling demographic or the outdoor demographic. But yeah, just some nerd Weezer glasses that we all wear. Like almost everyone I know wears it, has at least one pair of these. These are actually funny brads. I found them up on the ski hill at Boston Mill after we had some beers and Large found them. And now I've been using these ones. But I would also, since I photograph in a lot of machine shops, they always make me put on safety goggles. And before I bought those, I would just put on like whatever random safety goggles I had, because these are like $2, so. But yeah, the Gooders are my go-tos now. The only thing is I find that like when I first start riding, where my 45 North hat is, and then these sit, I get this just super cold, like right on my forehead. But like after like 15 minutes, it goes away and I get one warm up. But yeah. How'd you give me the abort? What are we at, like 11 o'clock already? Oh, 11:03, geez. Joshua says clear lens shooting glasses. And some people really like the yellowish lenses for night riding. They feel like it makes stuff look more clear, but I just like the clear ones. But yeah, I didn't realize it, like, because I didn't winter ride a lot before, what, 4 years ago maybe? But then there was a couple times when it was cold but not snowy, and I'm riding like my vintage Peugeot, and I remember getting to a bar I was going to out in Kent, so I'd ridden like 12 miles, just in kind of hammering it too. And then I looked in the mirror in the bathroom and my eyes were like blood red, like it looked like I was high as a kite. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And then I got home and realized how bad they hurt, and I'm like, oh, it's from the cold, they dried out. And now I never would leave without, like, I think like probably under like 45 I always put these on. Charles said, trivia question, who did Jimi Hendrix name his favorite as his favorite guitarist? Muskrat said Chuck Berry. Jasmine, I love that emoji. Yeah, send us the Rove pic, Jasmine. Can't wait to see it. Muddy. That's a good guess, Muskrat. Well, Muskrat would know. I'm going to go with what Muskrat. Oh, you guessed Chuck Berry also, so. Sunhouse. No, it's just Taylor Swift. Oh, shoot. This is like an old school stream, except I actually got a tiny bit of something done. So. Billy Gibbons. Billy Gibbons. Who's Billy Gibbons? Is there an option Terry was doing this the other day to ask questions. Where does that, how do I get to that? Because there was a poll option for a while. Is there a, oh, engage with your audience. Start a Q&A. Okay, let's see. What's the other option? Start a poll. We've done that before. I don't have any questions in mind. that just threw me off. Once you asked that, I wanted to know how to do it. But we already have the answer. It's Billy Gibbons. But I can't think of who Billy Gibbons is, but I know that name. I'll pull it up on Wikipedia where they're going to ask me for money again. Oh, it is ZZ Top. Okay, that's what you guys were saying. It's ZZ Top. You guys don't know Muddy Waters? How old are you, Joshua? No offense. Muddy Waters to me is household name, but I'm 44. I got you, Pudgy. Fuck. There's the early ZZ Top is not bad. Everyone pictures them just for the 80s spinning guitars, but ZZ Top's got some decent stuff. Oh, really? Oh, you said that, Josh. Yeah, that's right. Oh, wait, no, Twan said he was 47, right? So we've got a pretty good demographic on this stream, but it does skew, I think, 40s and 50s in a way. But yeah, the Stones cover some Muddy Waters songs. They do a good job of it too. Early Stones. That's the Stones I like. Anyways, I don't hate all 70s Stones. Certainly don't care for any 80s Stones, but yeah. The early Stones, like the blues covering, like the Stones doing Muddy Waters is the stuff I really, really like. So, like that era, like the first two records when they only have two originals, I think, on those first two records. The Rolling Stones Now and England's Newest Hitmakers. Love those records. And then what I think Tell Me is the one original on England's Newest Hitmakers, which is one of my favorite songs ever. But and then they have their first hit is a song the Beatles wrote for them. So 80s if you count Jay Dandy. We're having fun, but this got to be a stream that's doing horrible numbers wise, right? Who wants to watch this? Well, we lost Rick too. Wouldn't Rick be the? Rick would have been the oldest for I think regular viewer for a long time. Like I said, Duke could ride though. When I went to Philly and hung out with Rick, man, he's upright on that Rivendell, but he could move that thing. Tell Me is awesome and appeared in the Scorsese movie Mean Streets. Huh? I didn't know it was ever in a movie. Yeah, I felt like that's a fairly obscure Stone song, but man, one of my favorite love songs. Definitely one of my favorite Stone songs. For like a chill original by the Stones, but yeah. So they are. Well, they're seeking an $875,000 grant. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, I'll pull up some cool bike pictures of us at the Rubber Bowl, but. For anyone who made the industrial gravel ride because they didn't get called into work. Sorry, Pudgy, I know that it was not your fault. Got a ride up there with us, but. So Akron had this old football stadium that was municipal, and then the university used it up until the late 90s. but they decided to tear down the front of it. But then it's just become this no man's land. There's less of it here. So that's roach clips right here, Woody, and that's large Marge there in the background. But it's like Akron's, I always say Akron's Ephesus. It hasn't even looked like this for years. They've torn down that section. But now they're gonna tear down this, where we're standing here. It supports a hillside. So they kind of always said they would never tear it down. But now I guess they're gonna reinforce it and take it out completely. But I mean, it's a fun place. Now this is like all covered in graffiti and stuff like that. It doesn't look like this anymore. This is when it was starting to get torn. They've torn down the press box and everything. There's Large, but yeah, this is when I met Large. This is what he rode. This little fixed gear. Oh, there's a good picture of it. Does saying Akron's Ephesus mean anything to anyone? Ephesus is a ancient Greek city, then Roman city in Turkey. But they have an amphitheater that reminds me of this. I thought I had some later photos once it got trashed even more. They're probably on Instagram. And you can't search Instagram because Instagram sucks. Damn. Did I not title it the Rubber Bowl? Probably in videos, actually, but. Drink with iced tea. Yeah, I'm from Cleveland, so I hung out with Wu-Tang a lot. I'm from Parma Heights, but. From the suburbs, man. All right, I should end this. This has been plenty fun for all involved, right? I need to make a video. I need to make an actual video to post to YouTube. I think I might try and record tomorrow a video talking about the upgrades to the Raleigh finally. Those of you who know me probably already know them, but I've got those Velo Orange, those brakes they sell, the Grautex, the Equals, which are awesome. The titanium Carver bars, and the upgraded group set. So I do want to get into that and make a video about it, but yeah. Instagram sucks, that should be the title of the next stream, yeah. You thought Wu-Tang was from Philly? Oh, I was thinking of Bone. Yeah, you're right. Well, Wu-Tang is from Philly. I was thinking of Bone Thugs and Harmony, but, you know, man, how racist can I be just to assume that every 90s hip-hop group is the same? I'm just kidding. God. All right. Bone is from Cleveland. Yes, that's what I meant. And on that note, all right, now I'll hit the right button.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is not okay.
Fitzwater photo.